We had to threaten a lawsuit, Jesse. And by the way, we're still entertaining it. We're talking to some of the best lawyers out there that are experts in this. And as you know, these things can be very complicated. There's a lot of facts and circumstances around it. But we're not going to let this go, because you should not be able to smear 5,000 high school and college kids and then just be able to walk away with it.
This Turning Point conference, were in the front of out there in front of the conference with anti-Semitic slurs, and the cigar.
I think it's important that every single person that attended that Turning Point, every Republican speak up against these against the flags that were waved.
You let them in.
President, open your
You let them in and you knew what they were.
Right.
So you are complicit.
But Whoopi is certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a well thought out.
Joe Rogan just lit up the hosts of The View in a roast that was anything but polite. And nope, this wasn't your grandma's tea party. Why? Because Charlie Kirk just hit them with a $100 million lawsuit and things spiraled fast. You think? You've seen drama? Nah, this one's pure chaos, wrapped in Rogan's trademark no-filter honesty. And once he starts, yeah, there's no hitting pause. You've gotta hear this.
Charlie Kirk's the founder and CEO of Turning Point USA and the author of the new book, The College Scam. So, Charlie, do you accept The View's apology?
I mean, regardless of whether or not I accept it, the question is, do our students accept it? That's really what's at heart here. They went after our 5,000 students at our event there of high school and college kids. And look, I get attacked all the time. People say false things. I'm a public figure. But when you go after 16 and 17-year-olds that travel from across the country that then have to live for the rest of their life with a shadow over them because someone at ABC says that they might be linked to
So Charlie Kirk just dropped the hammer with a $100 million lawsuit against The View. Yeah, you heard that right, a full 100 mil, no typo. When your name's getting dragged across daytime TV like it's nothing, and you've got the money. To clap back that hard, you don't just sit there sipping tea. Nah, you go full nuclear. And that's exactly what he did.
So, I mean, The View has to be if you average out The View hosts, among the dumbest people on television. And so it's like they say the thing that people are thinking, but they say it very directly, so they expose whatever truth. But
I don't think some of them are dumb.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think Sunny Hostin's
You think it's deliberate?
I think she's ideologically driven, and they have blinders on, for sure. I don't think Sunny's dumb. But Whoopi is certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a well thought out. It's like if you had an idea for a premise and it was totally baked and half baked and you went on stage with it and it's nothing there.
Just go for it. Yeah,
there's nothing there. Sometimes comics do that.
This lawsuit isn't just some dramatic outburst. It's a statement, and it comes with a multi-million-dollar warning label. Don't mess with me. See, The View acted like it was open season on Charlie Kirk, throwing out accusations like they were Oprah handing out freebies. You get one, everybody gets one. But the second Kirk pushes back and cries foul, boom, now it's a full-blown legal circus.
Now we begin with a shocking apology just a short time ago from the ladies of The View to Turning Point USA. A war of words broke out after the conservative group was rallying the next generation of voters at its youth summit in Tampa, Florida this weekend. And the liberal panel just couldn't help themselves. The group sent a scathing cease and desist letter after hosts on The View suggested that Turning Point had embraced who showed up outside the event.
Now look, the hosts on The View are still doing their usual daytime spin, probably gasping, pearl clutching, and pretending this is just some harmless mix-up over a misread tweet. But let's be real, this isn't petty drama. It's a $100 million lawsuit. That's not a misunderstanding. That's the kind of heat that makes reality show beefs look like kids fighting over crayons.
Do you see what Whoopi Goldberg said?
What'd she say?
Whoopi Goldberg said that Biden could arrest all the Republicans and put them in jail. You just need to see how unhinged this kind of thinking is. Well, you know what Joe Biden could do? Joe Biden, you have to see it because it's so
on TV.
crazy.
She said
on television.
You know, just let's look at a scenario where the Supreme Court says, yes, he has that. He has all those rights. He is immune from everything.
Yeah.
You know what Joe Biden could do since he is presently president?
What?
Whoa. He could throw every Republican in jail.
And then boom, Joe Rogan steps in because of course he does. The guy who turned podcasting into a full contact sport just unloads a truckload of sarcasm on the whole situation. Watching him mock TheView hosts, it's like a grizzly bear giving a TED talk on how bees should do their job. Wild, messy, and somehow totally satisfying. Picture it, the same guy who usually debates aliens and MMA fighters casually dismantling the queens of daytime TV for their fake outrage and forced seriousness. It's like a 5-star chef tearing into a microwave dinner. Brutal, hilarious, and kinda perfect. What makes Rogan's shots hit so hard? Simple. He's not playing by their script, while the hosts are out here running their show like a soap opera, throwing jabs from a distance. Rogan steps into the ring, drops truth bombs, and just laughs while they scramble to respond. And let's be real, TheView is built on loud takes and big drama, but the second someone claps back with facts or legal fire, suddenly they go quiet. There's something poetic about that. Talk big, fold fast. Rogan sees it, calls it out, and yeah, he's not letting up.
Welcome back. You know, in Monday's conversation about Turning Point USA, I put the young people at the conference in the same category as the protesters outside. And I don't like it when people make assumptions about me, and it's not any better when I make assumptions about other people, which I did. So, my bad. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So,
Charlie Kirk isn't just flashing that lawsuit like some trophy. He's throwing down a challenge on media accountability in a time where calling people out on national TV has become the norm. And that's where this whole thing really heats up. The ladies on TheView might act like they're above it all, but Kirk just dropped a legal bomb that's basically a $100 million mic drop. It's messy, it's expensive, and it's turning into a wild showdown of media versus money versus madness. On one side, you've got a panel that built their brand on outrage and hot takes, acting like lawsuits are just background noise. On the other, a conservative heavyweight stepping in like, yeah, not happening, and here's $100 million to prove it. Then you've got Joe Rogan in the mix, roasting the whole thing with that trademark sarcasm, making it crystal clear how ridiculous it all looks when you actually step back. They talk like they've got the moral high ground, but the second someone pushes back, the cracks start to show. And Rogan's jokes hit harder than they'd like to admit. This isn't just some headline feud, it's a snapshot of today's media circus where drama pays, lawsuits talk, and everyone's tuned in for the next train wreck.
The culture shift between right and left authoritarianism, and now people don't recognize that if you just stop looking at it in terms of red and blue, look at the actions, whether it's war, suppression of free speech, pharmacological interventions that are mandatory, right. whatever it is, that used to all be associated with the authoritative right, the authoritarian right, and now those things are being embraced by the left. And I just think it's just an ideology thing, and I think we get confused and we think we're on the right side, and if it's our side that's saying this, for sure that's the right thing to do, and no one's critically thinking about this.
Joe Rogan is the gateway drug for young men that thought they were Democrats to become MAGA. Joe Rogan is the bridge, and on that bridge they'll see RFK. They'll see Elon Musk.
The hosts of TheView just found themselves smack in the middle of a mess they can't shout their way out of. Because this time, it's not just heated opinions and walk-offs, it's lawsuits and court dates rewriting their usual script. And just when things couldn't get worse, Rogan steps in like a wrecking ball, dropping one of his signature takedowns that stings even more because, well, it hits a nerve. His sharp jabs and no-filter delivery expose exactly how the show's serious debate often comes off more like performance art. Loud when it's safe, quiet when it's personal. For years, they've picked their outrage carefully, throwing punches without ever taking real ones back. But now, between Kirk's lawsuit and Rogan's viral roast, that whole strategy's unraveling. Fast. The audience is stuck watching. A full-blown meltdown unfold, with a massive lawsuit on one side and a podcaster on the other acting like the ref. And the weirdest part? The silence. No fiery comebacks, no dramatic monologues, just a quiet tension behind the scenes that says it all. Because yelling on TV is one thing. Getting roasted online while lawyers get involved? That's a whole different arena.
I think the problem with that show is that show has this very specific ideological bubble in which they operate in, you know, and they always bring on a token conservative woman and they yell over her and silence her, and you know they did that with Meghan McCain, and they did that with what is that other blonde woman from Survivor? Do you remember her, Jamie? She was always yelling. I mean, it's a bizarre show.
This lawsuit isn't just some headline you scroll past while sipping your third coffee. Nah, this one's a full-blown spotlight on how insane media polarization's gotten. Every insult feels like a grenade, every lawsuit a straight-up missile. The clash between Charlie Kirk and TheView isn't some random beef. It's playing out in the middle of a culture war that honestly feels more like a reality show. America, the Feud Edition. These days, lawsuits aren't just about justice. They're power moves, political weapons sharper than any viral tweet. Forget arguing over parking spots. Now it's like, you called me out on TV? Cool, here's a $100 million lawsuit. It's not just about winning the debate anymore. It's about flexing who's got the deeper pockets. This whole thing shows how the courtrooms become the new battleground, where public feuds turn into high-stakes legal cage matches, and only the richest walk away standing. Meanwhile, media outrage has become its own performance, with shows like TheView turning every episode into a stage play of how wrong the other side is.
Megan, I get it. I also hate Joy Behar. So I don't love you, but I also hate that squawking bird. So I hate the whole thing. And frankly, that show, you want to talk about a show that set women back, is TheView. You want to talk about that show. If the CIA is engineering, Antifa and the Capitol riot, some crazy misogynist engineered TheView, because there's nothing worse than TheView. In terms of there are so many brilliant women out there. None of them are on TheView. None of them have gone near the set of TheView. I mean, they have brought in the lowest tier of the, what is it, the Y chromosome?
No, double
X.
X.
Okay.
Double X.
They brought in the lowest of the double X's for that one. It's rough.
Meanwhile, you've got conservative voices like Charlie Kirk flipping that outrage into a full-blown rally cry, tossing out gotcha lines, and now apparently lawsuits too. But this isn't just two sides arguing, it's a straight-up battle for control over public opinion, and subtle. Yeah, not even close. It's like watching a wrecking ball tear through a glass shop. The whole thing plays out like a mashup of courtroom drama, reality show chaos, and a circus act rolled into one. 1 second you're hearing serious political talk, the next it sounds like a lawsuit ripped from a Hollywood script. The lines are so blurred you're left wondering, should I be mad, entertained, or just pass the popcorn? And that's the real twist. Most viewers are stuck trying to decode what's legit and what's just performance. The legal threats, the mockery, the dramatic takedowns, it's all part of a never-ending show built to keep you watching. TheView's scandal, Rogan's brutal roast. They're not separate events, they're just new episodes in this non-stop media soap opera where politics, press, and power are all fighting for the spotlight.
Her disgusting, gross elitism and her complete out-of-touch nature with respect to the rest of the world. Sunny Hostin goes on TheView and decides now would be a great time to dump all over the so-called uneducated.
What we did not have is white women who voted about 52%, right, for Donald Trump. Uneducated white women, is my understanding. You have Latino men, actually, voting more for him. And you have, and black men was not the story. We're not the story here, because they voted almost 80% for the vice president.
Right. Just because you didn't go to college doesn't mean you're stupid, and it doesn't mean that you don't have wisdom. You can go to college and get a bunch of irrelevant facts about how men can allegedly give birth.
So what's next in this circus? Honestly, anything's possible. And chances are it's gonna get messier. Maybe the TheView crew quietly cuts a fat check to make the whole thing disappear. Classic damage control. Or maybe this thing explodes into a full-on courtroom drama where every cringy email, tweet, and off-camera meltdown gets dragged into the spotlight. Picture the discovery phase. Just non-stop receipts flying out like confetti at a scandal parade. If this hits trial, don't expect subtle arguments. Both sides will treat that courtroom like it's primetime TV, complete with sound bites, media spin, and performance mode fully activated. Sure, TheView might try to clean up their image, tighten the script, maybe tone down the chaos, but come on, drama is literally their brand, and this lawsuit just the latest plot twist. Meanwhile, social media is gonna eat this up. Memes, hot takes, savage edits. It's gonna be everywhere, all the time. And then there's JoeRogan, the king of podcast wildfire. When he mocks something, it's not just shade, it's a flare to let the world know this isn't just another daytime spat. This one's got heat.
Yeah, did you watch the episode when Tulsi Gabbard got on to defend herself and Joy Behar starts panicking and going over her notes while Tulsi's refuting everything that she said?
Yeah, I mean, Joy Behar, like, again, these people have dementia. These are people who like should not be allowed out of the house. They have a national platform. I mean, it is crazy. They have no idea. These people have never read like a book.
And there's versions of it.
This lawsuit is pure chaos in the best way. Unpredictable, messy, and tailor-made for today's internet-fueled media circus. In a world where a single tweet can light a fire, a viral video can flip the narrative, and a podcast clip can turn a lawsuit into a meme war, the usual rules don't apply anymore. No one knows how this will end, but one thing's certain. It's not gonna be boring. This whole saga has everything. Courtroom drama, influencer ego battles, meme-worthy moments, and millions of people glued to every update. It's not just about money or media clout. It's a front row seat to how public fights get turned into content, how reputation becomes ammo, and how the line between news and entertainment completely disappears. And with Joe Rogan still on the mic and Charlie Kirk's legal team on full send, the next round is guaranteed to bring more chaos, more comedy, and even bigger explosions. What makes it even juicier? The reminder that no one's untouchable. One minute you're on your high horse, next minute you're catching strays on a podcast better known for elk hunting and aliens. Karma's got jokes, and they hit hard. So what does all this mean for the future of shows like TheView and the culture war crowd? Maybe it's a warning that if you're gonna throw shade and sling accusations, you'd better be ready to back it up. Kirk's lawsuit is a straight up financial gut punch, while Rogan's takedown shows that the mainstream doesn't always own the mic anymore. Sometimes it's the outsider with sharper humor and a bigger war chest. Bottom line, this isn't just drama for the ratings, it's a media power play, and it's only getting louder. So next time the hosts start throwing punches, they might want to think twice, because this new game isn't just for show, it's for keeps.